All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 5 of eCast exclusive chats and studio tracks. Today we have another special invitation. This guy is a super motivational speaker, but also an awesome artist from the 831 coming from Marina. His name is J2. Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Appreciate you
man.
having me, brother.
Man, thank you for coming down to the crib and to the ecast studio, man.
This is so fire, bro. A little 45 minutes down the road. Nice little drive down. But man, this is super cool to be here, man. I appreciate you inviting me. I've been excited for it. Been telling my brother about it. And I'm like, man, we about to be on a podcast. It's like my favorite thing to do. Like
Really?
be on podcasts and have conversations. Like this is like my favorite thing to do.
Man. That's what's up. I've been looking forward to this interview, and I've been seeing your work and your grit and everything that you're putting out for the community and yourself as an artist as well. And I was inspired. I can't lie, man. I was like, yes, this is the type of thing I want
That's
around
so
me,
fire.
you know?
That's the goal, man. To inspire, to motivate, to help, to encourage, you know, to spread love, positivity, you know, in a world of negativity.
Bro.
So it's like, man, I'm trying to find a way to, because, you know, it inspires me to see people doing stuff like this, to see this room like this is motivating right here. I was just telling you, like, man, if I had this, I don't think anybody would be able to get a hold of me. I'd just be in here the whole time. You wouldn't be able to find me. You know where I'm at. Like, this is super cool. Like, your setup right here at your crib. Like, man, this is super dope, bro.
Thanks, man. And, you know, waking up in the mornings, like, you know, the usual now, a lot of people just grab their phones, right? And they go to IG and stuff. And all of a sudden you see this guy's face walking down the street and giving you some motivation. Is like, get your ass up, bro. Like, what are you doing in bed?
Yeah, good morning.
Crazy.
Top of the top. Yeah,
I love
morning.
it, man. I love it, man. Bro, but tell me a little bit more about your early life, man. Who is J2?
My early life, man, just always just been a competitor. You know, I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. I've always been an athlete, you know, like a 7-sport athlete. Anything that got competition involved or strategy involved, I've always been in it. You know, I'm just always been a competitor. I grew up in an apartment complex with all of my cousins, all of my older cousins. And, you know, playing football, tackle football in a big grass field in the middle of the apartment complex. You know, when there's problems going on or somebody's talking smack, like I'm the young cousin they call, hey, my cousin will handle this. Like, you know, I've always just, what meant most to me is like making my older cousins proud. You know, what meant a lot to me is like being the one they call when they need something, like, you know, somebody to get checked or somebody to get one-on-one, like a fade. Like, I always grew up watching my dad play with his friends and always wanting to play in those games, but they used to tell me, like, you too young. But I was like, no, I ain't. Like, I'm ready to give y'all buckets for real, even though I'm 8 years old and they grown-ups. But I grew up, you know, competing with my dad. I grew up competing with my cousins. I grew up being around people better than me, smarter than me, faster than me, stronger than me, and just wanting to be in that game, wanting to be the one that could play with them. So I've always looked up to people and wanting to surround myself with people that like had it kind of like the upper edge on me. I loved being the underdog.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Like, I was just talking with my cousin last night, and he was telling me, he was like, man, you know, I just always love watching you play because it's just like, man, you got heart. Like, you could, and it's just like, if you was 6'5", man, you'd be dogging people. Like, it'd be crazy. Like, and I told him, I was like, man, I wonder if, you know, God really didn't make me 6'5" for a reason.
I mean, yeah, that's always a reason.
Cause it's like, man, if I was 6'5", I couldn't imagine, but I probably wouldn't have the heart that I have. I probably wouldn't have the drive that I have. Every story that's ever been told about me, like, he's never had the size, but he's always had the heart. That probably wouldn't be the story if I was 6'5".
That's right.
And I kind of love that underdog story.
That's right.
So it's like God kind of maybe made it a tougher route for me and a tougher road, so my story's a little significant.
Right.
So I could encourage the person that isn't 6'5". So I could encourage the person that's been the underdog. So, you know, I could still find a way. I'm a person that's going to figure it out and find a way. Even if I haven't yet, you know, I know that I will.
Oh,
and I know
will.
it's just a timing thing. It's not a matter of if, but when for me. So, I feel like I'm my size and running my journey for a reason, that everything has a significant purpose. And I'm not 6'5" for a reason. I'm 5'8", and I'm ready to rock against somebody who is 6'5", and I'm going to show y'all kind of, how we get down a little bit.
Bro,
Little David,
get out
versus Goliath.
Get your notebook out, bro. This is full of gems, so this is gonna be a special episode.
Yeah,
I'll tell you already.
Yeah, we 2 minutes in, but yeah, we love to talk. So sorry if I ran.
No, go for it, bro. This is your space. This is your home. Like I tell everybody, like I want everybody that comes around here to feel like this is their creative cloud, basically.
Facts. I feel that.
And this is your space. So take whatever you gotta say.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro.
Because one of the things, and I take inspiration from that, is like I want to show people what's around them, because especially this area here in the 831, it's very known for not a lot happening. And when you actually highlight the things that are actually happening, people become, and they get the aha moment. It's like,
sure.
oh, wait a second, this is actually happening. We got this person doing this. We get this, entrepreneur, artist, whatever it is, inspiring and bringing the community together and whatnot. That's to me my mission and my goal.
Yeah.
But bro, what's that personal life about? In your personal journey between sports and connecting to the arts, man?
It's like such a significant connection, because like I was saying, like I've just always been a competitor, figure it out type person, but sports has taught me a lot, discipline, hard work, building relationships, studying the game, like studying others, watching film, constantly growing. And that's just kind of like my music and my personal life path as well. Just constantly trying to figure out how I could work harder, how I could separate myself, how I could constantly get better at something. Because there's always ways to improve. So like with the music, I kind of got into that just almost during that COVID era.
Oh, okay.
And it happened really because, I got in trouble and stuff, and there was nothing to do. So I was like, man, I got a lot of things actually to share in my life. I actually have a lot of things that, I feel like my story, I always like watching those movies based on a true story. If it says based on a true story at the start of the movie, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good movie right here. And I was like, man, that just feel like my whole life in general. Like everything that I say, everything that I do, I'm like, man, this is based on a true story. And I feel like it just creates a little bit more authenticity, because I have a lot to talk about. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've watched a lot. I've listened a lot. I've had so many wins. I have so many losses. What some would consider having everything I've had, what some would consider having nothing I've had. And there's been times where I've had everything and felt like I've had nothing.
Wow.
And there's been times where I've had nothing and felt like I had everything.
Wow.
So, it's just, I feel like I pay attention, and just like how you were saying, with people saying that it might be hard to come out of their area, I feel like a lot of it, what I've learned is sometimes it takes somebody to do something to show you that it's possible.
Right.
And, I started paying attention to those that are successful and where they've came from. And a lot of times they've came from places a lot worse than I've came from.
Who's one of those persons or, celebrities that you...
I listen a lot to like Inky Johnson, or, Eric Thomas, the E.T. the hip hop preacher.
Okay.
And, they came from, 12 people in their house, or like having nothing, or, just going through trials of like getting injured and not being able to play the game of sports no more, and turning that into being a motivational speaker, getting paid $50,000 to just talk. And it's just like, man, they've just been through, they've turned their losses into wins. And it's just like, they turned their pain into passion. And it's just like, man, I think where I was at in a certain point in my life, I was trying to really figure it out, and I was down bad, and I was low, and I was looking for answers. So I started hopping on YouTube, and I started watching motivational speakers like Ed Milet and Brad Lee and Eric Thomas and Inky Johnson, and listening to them every morning at 6 a.m. while I'm writing my aspirations, while I'm writing down my goals, while I'm writing down quotes from them. And, I started listening to so much positivity and so much motivation and so much inspiration. I got inspired. I got motivated. It helped me out of a hole. And I was like, man, after listening to all this game for so long, I'm like, man, I know there's got to be somebody that was feeling what I was feeling, where I was down bad. And I know I could probably be the person like Eric Thomas to help them get out of it. So I started trying to figure out, and I was reading my aspirations, reading my goals, reading my notebooks. I'm like, man, I got real game in here for real.
Yeah.
I got to share this with everybody. So that's
What's
kind of how I
up.
got into the speaking and the music, because I'm like, man, I know I got a story to tell, and I know I'm creative, and I know I'm a competitor, and I know I'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Even if I'm not the best yet, I'm the best because I feel like I'm the best. And
Yeah.
wherever I'm at, I'm very appreciative of it.
Bro, it's like that $1 million check from Jim Carrey that Jim Carrey always talks about.
Yeah.
You know, I knew it was just about a moment, so I wrote myself
Yeah, he wrote
a
it
$1 million
first.
check, put it in
So
his wallet,
fire.
and next thing he know, he was getting, 10 times that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, bro, you're in the same path.
Facts.
You're in the
Facts.
same path.
I know it. Yeah. I was telling my cousin last night, and like I said, bro, like everybody that comes in contact with me, I'm always in these conversations. That's why I said I was just talking to my friend. I was just talking to my cousin. Because I'm just talking all the time.
Yeah, it's
But
so good.
last night I was talking to my cousin, and I was like, man, one of my biggest dreams, one of my biggest goals in life is to have my family walk into my mansion and just tell them like, we did it.
We did it.
Like this is what we deserve. And I know my family might not see that as successful or making it, but that's just coming from humble beginnings. But I feel like, like my dad has done everything right by the book, like just a good person. He deserves the world, and so does my mom.
How do you measure success? Because success it's a relative thing, right? To everybody independently. Like for me, reaching success in one point was making this happen, for once. And I was like, yes, I made it once, but what's next? How do you do that?
So I feel like success is an evolution. It constantly changes for me. But I feel like successful for me is just being present, man. Just understanding that success is a journey and not a destination.
Yeah.
That, once I reach something, every time I reach the top of one mountain, there's another mountain.
Right.
And I feel like for success isn't what somebody else views success as, because everybody's view of success is different.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding what you want in life, understanding what you want to accomplish, reaching your goals. But I feel like the ultimate thing for success for me is just to be happy.
Bro.
Just to be happy, like wherever you're at in life, whether you have the house, whether you have the cars, or whether you don't, just be happy in your situation and be present of where you're at. And I feel like that all comes from having perspective. There's somebody that's praying for the things that we have and we complain about. So it's like, enjoy where you're at. And that's success to me. Like,
Definitely.
This is success to me.
Definitely.
This is success right here.
Bro, so talking a little bit more about your music journey, where do you gather inspiration to create your music, and what are some of your influences?
I always grew up on Tupac. And
Whoa.
I grew up on, my dad loves Tupac. I grew up on Tupac. One of my favorite artists is Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
That's where I take a lot of everything I do is from Nipsey Hussle. I also love listening to like Mozzie, and I like La Russell right now and his hustle and his grind. I take inspiration from everybody, from everything, from life. That's why I say life is your content. Life is your music. Life is your story. And I just pay attention. Like, I learn from you right now. I'm getting inspiration from here. I love listening to a lot of my friends' musics. I feel like I have a group that I'm in, and I have a team that I'm with right now, that everybody in my team is better than me in some way or fashion. And I get inspiration from them. Some people's melodies a lot better than mine. So I try to listen to how they do their melodies. Some people's lyrics are better than mine. So I try to hear how they story tell. Some people's beat selection is a little bit unique compared to mine. So I start listening to different beats and asking them what type beats are they listening to, or how did they find these beats? And I'm trying to practice on all those. But I feel like just with the music, my inspiration comes from everything. It comes from, being at the beach It comes from competing and coaching the kids. It comes from going through my struggles and my wins. It goes from being an older brother and a son to being a friend. It goes from, hanging around people that sell drugs and gang bang. It comes around from being people who are, you know, very religious and go to church every Sunday and, speak highly and just have very, very good attitudes. It comes around from being around business owners. Just it comes from everything. I try to take a little bit of everything and turn it into myself and speak on only what I know and what I live.
Bro, so I see also that you're involved in the community, man. And what are some of those projects that are you involved on now?
Right now, so we've been having tryouts for our 7-on-7 youth league. So we got a 7-on-7 football travel team. We've been doing tryouts and practices every week. We're about to start traveling in January, and we're going to be gone every weekend.
Wow.
So, we have a 10U team, a 12U team, a 14U team, and a high school team. So 4 different teams of youth in our community that, we teach them how the game of football, the game of life. We take them on the road. We show them, we take them to colleges like Oregon and just show them what it's like to be at the next level. Watch the college players practice and watch their facilities. I'm a motivational speaker or a public speaker, some would call it, where I try to just reach out to anybody that has any event going on.
Yeah.
In any shape, it don't have to be nothing bad. It don't have to be. I just want to be a part of everything.
Definitely.
If you got a little bit of time where I could grab the mic and just share a quick message, or sing a song, I'm trying to be a part of it all. So I'm constantly just trying to network so I could be at any event going on in my city. I just recently spoke at the Boys and Girls Club where they had like the high school students playing basketball against the police officers. And they had a lot of people from the community there, and they allowed me to come speak to them.
That's
And
cool.
what was cool about that event, what somebody had told me before I spoke, was that recently at Seaside High, there was this 100-person brawl between the blacks and the Mexicans.
Oh, wow.
And
really?
this happened maybe 3-4 months ago, where the blacks and Mexicans got in a 100-person brawl at Seaside. And a variety of those kids that were involved in that brawl were in that Boys and Girls circle that I was speaking in front of. So, to have the opportunity to speak to them and let them know, nothing good comes out of fighting each other.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes out of an enemy.
Yeah.
Who could be the one that stands up and say this is wrong? And, just because you live over there and I live over here, if you guys were actually to get to know each other, you would actually see that we're just alike.
Yeah.
That we could be friends.
Yeah.
That we could be mutual. And I got this speaking opportunity because of one of my friends, Jake, who I grew up with since elementary school. He's black, I'm white and Samoan. But that's a good friend where now he's throwing events for the community and he sees what I'm pushing online. And he's invited me to his event to come speak to the kids. And that comes from being a good friend. That comes from pushing positivity out into the world and people seeing it and inviting me to it.
Facts.
So until you actually let the world know what you're doing, the world will never know what you're doing.
That's right.
So, I'm pushing that I'm speaking. I'm pushing I want to be involved. I'm pushing that I'm a coach. I'm pushing that I'm a speaker so that anybody who has an opportunity or an event, they know that, hey, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I do this every day. This is what I want to be a part of, and people are reaching out to me for it. Yeah. But it's just man, to have that opportunity to speak to them is that meant a lot to me. And it's hard for me to not get emotional because it means so much to me.
No.
And I never thought that way when I was in high school either. It's just crazy.
No, I guess, when we grow up, right, and we go through the things that we go through in life, it shapes us because we have a deeper understanding of what it is to be in that same shoes and, relating to these kids in the situation that you were at. Because right now it could be bad. It probably was worse back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But it can always get better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, bro, that's kudos for that, man. Kudos for that. And so you have multiple things going on. You're a coach, you're a motivational speaker, you're an artist. Let's talk more about your music. What's cooking up right now?
So I got so much in the vault. a majority of it is all written. So one of my biggest struggles in the music game is, you know, finding somewhere to record and trying to find a engineer or somebody that could get my sound how I hear it in my head, pretty much. Um, but you know, I'm working on this album that's gonna drop in February, my birthday month.
Okay.
I have a couple singles dropping in January. My biggest goal for 2025 is I want to drop like 3 albums, and I want to be more consistent with my music, because with being a videographer, being a coach, being an artist, being a motivational speaker, you know, and all the other jobs that I have,
Yeah.
I get spread thin a lot. You know,
Yeah, I
being a
bet.
coach takes away from my music. You know, being a videographer takes away from my music.
Yeah.
Being you know, a motivational speaker takes away from being a videographer. Like, I get spread thin a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to try to figure out how I could lock in a little bit better on my music, because I got some things on my mind and in my notepad that I can't wait to share.
So far, I mean, what I've heard of your music, it's really dope. Your last album, the 2-player,
Yeah.
that was a really cool album as well. And I'm sure, I mean, people in the Central Coast are ready for more of
For
J2.
sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I got like some real music coming. Like my very first album I ever dropped was called Only Real Could Relate. And it had 10 songs on there, and that was like some real life message. So coming in February, I got some Only Real Could Relate life message on the way.
Okay.
Some real hustlers, some real
Y'all heard it.
some real knowledge, some real, you know, growth in my music too.
That's what's
My
up.
beat selection is a little bit better. My flow's a little bit better. My lyrics are better. And you know what's funny too, bro? Is ever since I started getting into the speaking and the walk talks, I write out my walk talks and I journal a lot. And now I've been giving speeches. So I write out my speeches and I practice my speeches, and then I speak in front of a lot of people. But that's helped my pen game for my music so much. Like, ever since I've been starting to write these walk talks, and ever since I write these speeches, now when I write music, the music has been I can notice my pen game and my storytelling coming a little bit easier now. So it's been very helpful, me speaking and writing these walk talks and these motivational speeches.
How do you go about that process, that creative process? Because I have a friend, and this might be good for him to know. He is a super creative writer. And I tell him all the time, just turn the camera on and start talking to it.
I say that so much. That's like my favorite line. Turn the camera on, bro. Just turn the camera on. I swear. That's all it is. That's like the game right there. The more shots you take, the more better chances you got of making a shot.
Right.
You know, just turn the camera on. I think people kind of complicate things a little bit too much. And I think it's better to just keep life simple. You know, I always say, like, man, we're all doing amazing things every single day. We just don't document it.
Right.
And it's like we would never know who the Kardashians was if they never turned on the camera.
Fact.
You know,
What the heck?
We can only keep up with the Kardashians because somebody turned on the camera and dropped it to the world. So I say it's very powerful, one thing, to turn the camera on, and it's even more powerful if you could press send. So just turn the camera on, and then don't be afraid with what come with it.
Load it.
But keep the camera on too, because you never know when greatness is gonna happen.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you stay near us, greatness happens more than not. So I'll be trying to tell my younger brother, I'm like, man, I wish he could just stay with me every second of every day and just keep the camera on me.
Bro.
I wish I had a full-time 100% cameraman. Cause I have gems where all day long I'll be like, man, I wish the camera was on right there. I'll be talking to these kids. And I'll say something. They'll say something back. I'll say something. They'll say something back. They'll do it. I'll be like, damn, I wish the camera was on. That was the one right there. But it's like you can't redo that again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I can't be like, hey, go turn the. Hey, let's do that. It's too late. We just missed greatness right there.
Right.
We just missed the opportunity.
Right.
All because the camera and the mic wasn't on.
That's crazy.
And it's just like,
bro.
now we just missed out. And you know, I was telling my brother this too. I was like, you know, we can't do stuff for the streams. You know, I can't try to make a video to go viral. I could, but that doesn't come off as authentic.
Right.
So I don't want to try to be inspirational. I just want to be myself.
Just be.
I just want to just be inspiring. I'm not trying to
Right.
be. I'm just doing it.
Right.
And then, you know, and then that's gonna come off authentic and genuine.
Bro, trying is that word that shouldn't be even in a vocabulary of people who do.
Yeah.
We just do.
Just try it. Just do it for real. And whatever comes with it, it comes with it. You're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like the only way to learn something is to be present.
Mm.
You can't learn if you're not present. If your mind is elsewhere and you're thinking about all types of things, you're gonna miss out on what's right in front of you.
Bro, talking about present is something that I've come to learn, and I'm 36 now, and I kind of lost that in the journey throughout my career in the military and whatnot, and I forgot what it was to be present, and that goes tied up with mental health, bro. How do you manage your mental health?
Man, mental health is like a real thing for real, and it's hard to manage. But I think what's helped me with my mental health, because, you know, for me, my biggest struggles, my biggest battles that I go through is like, right now I am a motivational speaker, or I am an inspiration, or I am a leader, or I am a coach, or I am a person that people look up to, or I am a role model. And that's how I view myself too, because that's what I want to be.
Right.
And that's who I am. And because of that, you know, a lot of times it weighs heavy on me because, you know, I know that it's bigger than me sometimes. Like, people are counting on me. People are looking at me to be strong, to be motivational, to be inspiring, to be a leader, to be a role model. And some days that's heavy on me.
Right.
You know, some days I don't feel like being a motivational speaker. Some days I don't feel like being inspiring. Some days I'm not strong. Some days I'm going through battles. You know, I'm human too. And I feel like being vulnerable and being honest and being open has helped me. You know, I'm okay with crying. I'm okay with telling you how I feel. I'm okay with letting you know I'm not on that vibe right now.
Right.
You know, it's just being me at all times and knowing that I'm not perfect. And the other thing too is like, you know, I pray a lot. You know, I have a big faith in God, and he gives me strength, because there's a lot of times where I've left him, but he never left me. And every time that I did stray away from him, you know,
Pulled you
negative
back.
negative things have happened because I was going from the world. I was trying to please and do what the world does, and I lost my God feelings, like what he's taught me. But every time I've left, every time I came back, he's always been there. And every time I look back at those times where I did leave, I realize he was always there too. So I keep big faith in God. Another thing that helps me with mental health is being around people that also are inspirers, that also are leaders, that also are role models, that also are motivational. You know, I'm inspired by people that are just like me. I like being around like-minded people. I like being around people that want better, that want to be great. So I could talk to those people when I go through things.
Yeah.
You know, it's about finding those few people that could help me through the journey. And sometimes I need somebody to look from the outside in. It's easier to give advice than it is to take advice sometimes. Like, I could tell if I was a situation that I go through that I'm struggling with, if somebody was to tell me that struggle and it's the exact same one, I could tell them easily what to do. But sometimes it's hard for me to do it.
Right.
So I know if I could ask somebody else that could give me the same message that I need and not what I want to hear, I need those people in my
That's
life.
very important, bro, because I think society nowadays has been shaped to just tell me what I want to hear instead of what you really need to be hearing, that we have lost quality control into life, and not into nothing in specifically, but to life. Quality control. We don't respect life.
Yeah.
People lost respect for life, and I think it's because of that, because people just got complacent with telling others, no, you know, you're fire, or you know, you're good at this, or you.
Yeah.
Sometimes a good ruffle telling them, no, you probably deserve the fourth place instead of the first one.
Well, you know, the thing is, like, the truth hurts.
Yeah, of course.
Know? So, like, and the other thing is, like, those are hard conversations.
Yeah.
So I understand why not everybody could tell you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear, because that's hard to say. You know, you never know. You might lose a friend, or they might look at you different, or now you might gain an enemy, or now, you might hurt somebody. From your, you know, words are very powerful. So to be able to understand how to put my words in a specific way where I could tell you what you need to hear, but in a way that you need to hear it, that's a skill.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have that skill.
That's definitely true.
So, you know, sometimes it's the right message, but just in the wrong way.
Right.
Or sometimes it's the right message from the wrong messenger. Or sometimes it's the right message at the wrong time. So
I'm glad the camera is on, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad it's on. But, you know, so it's just like, you know, it's hard to tell people what they need to hear. It's hard to tell the truth. But that's why what we're doing and what we're pushing is I want to be the person that isn't afraid to say what people need to hear. That isn't afraid, you know, to tell you what is supposed to be going on. Because somebody got to do it. Somebody's got to say it. And I ask God if he could let me be the messenger. Any message that he has, speak through me. Anybody that needs to hear it, let me be the one to say it. Put me in those rooms. Put me in front of the audiences. I'm down to say everything that you need me to say. Whatever comes with it, I'm okay with it. And, you know I got to keep sharpening my iron. I got to keep writing down my stuff and keep practicing. Because when I do get in those rooms, I want to make sure that I'm ready to give the message that needs to be given.
Bro, I know a lot is going to come out of this episode, and I am so glad that you're actually here, man. What do you have to tell all these younger kids now that are following an inspirational path in sports, in music, in life? What do you got to tell them?
Be a thinker and not a mover. What I mean by that is make up your mind for yourself. Don't always be told what to do. When somebody tells you something, think about it. Why did they say that? Why should I do that? Is that something that's beneficial or is it artificial? You know, is that something that is going to help me be better and help me grow, or is it not? I feel like too many people is being told what to do and just accepting it. Too many people, and that's why we have people that don't chase their dreams, because the comfortable route and the easier route is to just be told what to do and just to get it done. You got to be here at 9. You got to leave at 5. You got to take your lunch right here. You got to do this and stock that and do this and do that. But it's like, man, why I got to be here from 9 to 5, bro? I have something I'd rather do. It's like in 9 to 5 and I make $150. There's nothing I could do that I could make $150 with all my time that I have in this day.
Right.
I can't find out no other way to make $150 and do something that I want. And it's just like, start asking questions. You know, start thinking for yourself. Stop being told what to do all the time. You know, be a thinker, not a mover. Think about everything. Ask questions about everything. Make up a mind for yourself. Stop being told what to do so much.
Bro, that's going to be tattoo.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. J2, give us your shout outs. Shout out everybody. Give us all your platforms where everybody can find you.
Yeah. Man, shout out to everybody. Shout out to you for watching this. Shout out to you for listening. Shout out to you for being who you are. Stand firm in who you is and, you know, be great. Wherever you're at is where you're supposed to be. And wherever you want to go, you'll get there if you do the things you're supposed to do. And just know I love you and I'm proud of you. You can find me at yeah.j2, yea.j2 on all platforms, and then j2 on all music platforms.
All righty, people. Well, bro, thank you once again for coming by. And this conversation has been so enlightening that now we're about to head to the studio and build a track. And I already know what I got on fire.
Let's try to see what's
happening.
Let's try to see what's happening.
All right,
Yes,
people.
Sarsky.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, everything. Follow my guy here. He has some great stuff coming along, so you can't miss it, okay? So we'll catch you later.
Yes, Sarsky.